All right, welcome to another edition of Beginner Breakdown. I'm your host, Mike Kummer. Last night, Jonathan Schrantz hosted his chess openings explained class, and after the class, it was pure mayhem. We had 3 games that all started e4, d5, pawn takes, queen takes, knight c3. So this was the starting position, okay? So we'll see how those games pan out. But before that, we have a very interesting game from Late Night with David Letterman, where he had the current world champion at the time, Garry Kasparov, on his program, and this game ensued. Letterman had the black pieces. Okay, so this is the position on the board, and David Letterman, of course, loves to give check, especially when it's to the world champion. So he plays check. And so you know, he gets out of the check with bishop to e2. So after the game was played, Letterman said to Kasparov, like, when did you know you had me? And he was like, when you played the dubious queen to e6 check. So just because, you know, you play a check, it could turn out to be the losing move. Okay, so you know, David Letterman proceeds, knight c6, so he's threatening big pawn fork d5, but Letterman's too good for that, so he moves his queen. And so now the champion, he's tempting Letterman, like, and Letterman can't resist, you know, free pawn, okay? And so the rook is under attack, so rook attacks the queen. There's only one spot for the queen to go. And Letterman, I mean, he sees his pieces attacked, so he moves it, you know. It's more than I can say about some people, you know, so that's pretty good. So now, once again, Letterman's attacked, so he'll move it. But the knight there isn't very good. I mean, where can this knight even go? Anywhere. I mean, b4 looks like it just wins up the knight outright. But yeah, he's going to play better. Knight b5, obviously better than b4, because instead of winning the knight, we're going to go to win the rook. Okay. So let's see if Letterman can figure out any way to do this. All right, he does. Does anybody have any suggestions how to stop knight takes c7 check?
Well, queen back to...
Yep, playing just like David Letterman. All right. And so now he gets 2 guys on the c pawn. So big trouble for Letterman here. So he's gonna lose a lot of material pretty quick. So knight takes check, king moves, knight attacks the queen. So Letterman's like, oh man, look at this, free knight. Oh, not so. So obviously, knight takes pawn check, king moves, see a queen. Letterman's like, all right, I'll get another knight, but then, boom, another knight is hanging. So now, you know, it's only an hour program, so, you know, you got to just get with it, Kasparov. All right, it was fun, you got his queen, but now let's get the king already, all right? So here we go. All right, get the queen out there. The queen and the rook, that's who's got to do the checkmating. I mean, knights and bishops cool for winning material, but they're going to mop up the mess here, okay? So, all right, getting the rook involved here. All right, so rook pins the pawn. Rook moves. And you're going to be shocked here. You're going to be shocked. Ready to be shocked? All right, pawn moves. Not too much of a shocker. b6. Now are we ready to be shocked? This is so fast. Okay, so bishop moves, bishop. Queen moves, now bishop back. Now he's ready to give them the shocker. The shocker. Are we ready to be shocked? All right. All right. Are we ready to be? Now we're ready to be shocked. All right. Can anybody? Okay. So this pawn is in a pin. Right. The G file is protected by this guy. You got to be world champion Garry Kasparov to see this one. All right. You want to be like Garry Kasparov and see a shocking move for the win? Or do you just want to play all by yourself? What are you doing? What are you doing? All right.
Rook takes pawn, right?
Not quite.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's probably good, but Garry Kasparov's move is just excellent. So notice the bishop and the queen all in this big diagonal. And notice, if for some reason this G pawn just would go away, whoop, where are you going? What move could you have? Queen takes knight check. Let's see if it's shocking. Oh. So there's only one way for him to take it. The king can't capture protected pieces. Pawn can't take because of the rook. So he has to take. Well, he doesn't have to take. If he wants to take, he has to take back like this. And then what's the winning move?
Bishop h5.
Checkmate. Excellent. Okay, so let's say he goes, oh, I'll just retreat. Now maybe you want to get that rook involved. Rook takes pawn check. And then now he only has one legal move, take, and then it's over, checkmate. That's officially checkmate. Let's make sure the other one was, because the computer didn't like shout it out. All right, now he sees, all right. All right, checkmate. All right, so that's how Garry Kasparov played against David Letterman. But as you'll see, when the staff plays as the black pieces, we do pretty well here. And now I played everybody's favorite Mario Roper. All right, so you see my big improvement? Queen to e5 check instead of queen to e6.
There is also the Patzer variation. Based on the joke, Patzer sees a check, Patzer plays a check.
All right, so he moves his bishop, and now we attack the pinned pieces. So, does everybody know what move I'm really hoping Mario makes here? Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if he did, but I really want him to play knight f3, because then I can just take it, and he has to take back with his pawn, giving himself double pawns, double isolated pawns, and an isolated pawns. And he won't want to be castling over there. But Mario's just too smart. He plays rook to b1. All right. Probably d4 is good, but all right. We're rook to b1. He's going to bring his bishop out here, but I want to just get my guy going here. So keep attacking the pin pieces. And so now, when I castle, Mario thinks he finds a trick. It's like your knight, bishop, knight, knight, queen. It's like it's in a pin. So I'm going to move there, threatening check and all the good stuff. All right. So now I got a tactic. All right, so who is defending this knight?
Bishop.
The bishop. So we can do the little remove the defender.
Well, since the defender's pinned, can't you just take the knight anyways?
No, because the same piece that I would take with is doing the pinning.
No, the knight.
Then take
You
your
can take
queen.
it with the knight.
Then take your queen with his bishop.
Yeah, if knight takes knight, oh, see ya, queen. And if I take with the guy, well, I could take that, and then we could do all this stuff. Let's see what the computer says. Yeah, the computer loves it. Yep, the computer loves it. Maybe I should have played that. How did I win a piece out of that? Oh, man. So I could play.
You're up in line for me to
So if I play knight takes knight, what happened? Oh, so I want to play queen takes b5. And then if he, but then he'll be like, I'm not taking your queen. I'm going to take this with check. All right? And then well, maybe I'll play f5. Now let's see what the computer says, all right? This is the moment of truth. Yeah, it gives white the advantage, okay? So we have to look in depth for all the lines here. But anyhow, I see a forced window. Well, it's not even forced. But so after knight there, I take here. He should play the intermezzo, knight takes pawn check. But instead, he takes, and now I have, so I got to take this knight back. But before I take the knight back, what move can I sneak in here? Knight takes c2 check. Okay, yes. So just in case you're tuning in, the first three moves are programmed because we're going, after Jonathan Schrantz did his lecture, we have an exhibition match, game 45, with 5-second delay match with where the moves are forced, e4, d5, pawn takes, queen takes, knight c3. Yeah, or else I probably wouldn't play this very often. All right, so now he plays rook to c1. Innocent looking move, right? Wrong. Do you know what white's threatening here?
Checkmate.
Checkmate, yeah. Uh-oh, checkmate. So let's stop it. And now he's like, okay, if you're not going to let me have checkmate, I'm going to block in all my guys. It's like, okay, Mario, whatever. Now I offer him a chance to have double pawns, but instead he's going to attack my queen. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to let you have double pawns. I'm going to attack the pawn. So he blocks it with the knight. And so now I tried to attack the knight. And now he decides to trade queens. I asked him after the game why he decided. He said because he was afraid. So that's Mario for you. So now e6 attacks the knight. So he's like, all right, I'll give you double pawns, whatever. And knight moves. Now I decide I'm going to play good. And I bring my bishop out, attack the pawn, and stop his pawns from marching down. So he's got to stop this. So he plays rook to c2. Rook to d3, exclamation mark, attacks the pawn. So king to e2 attacks my rook. So I defend it and double my rooks, forcing the rook to defend. And now I can take his pawn for free. So rook attacks the bishop. Instead, I decide, hey, I'm going to attack the pawn. All right, forcing the knight to go back to f1. Now I'm like, okay, a5. So now after rook to a4, I can simply defend the pawn with rook to d5. Okay, excellent. All right, there's no reason to give him a passed h pawn, okay? All right, so now Mario comes up with the plan of the century, okay? f4, you really want to pay attention for this one. All right, so rook attacks the pawn. So he decides, all right, f5, all right. So he's playing some mad hope chess. He's thinking, wow, I cannot resist getting triple pawns. And, but I decided, nope, I'll take it. And now Mario's back to square one without his f-pawn. So he says, all right, I'll attack your rook. It's like, I'll pin your knight. I'll get out of the pin. I'll take your pawn. So now he's going to work here. Look at that move. I threatened a lot of stuff, huh? Threatened my rook, threatens check. I don't even know what to do. So when you're in desperate times, you check, right? You check. At least now I got everybody going for the big pin here. All right, so I'm desperate again, right? So there's two things I could do. I could check or I could pin the knight, which I think I pinned the knight. So he gets out of the pin, and now I'm like, okay. I'm just going to take, hoping that he takes back with the king. Okay, so, but instead Mario sees that king takes is a blunder because of, bishop check, winning the rook. So he plays rook takes c4. All right, so I give him a check, king up. So just because I've lost in exchange, who would you like to play here, white or black? Black, because I got a lot of pawns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and he's only got 3. So I'm still winning by the piece count. So I move my king up. He attacks my pawn. Is there any way I can save it? Nope. So I might as well just give him up. Now I know he's going to take my pawn and then go here. But do you think I really want my king passive for this entire endgame? No. So I'm just going to let him have that pawn too, because he's doubled, weak, and he's pretty much a non-factor anyway. So I'd rather have an active king than some lazy pawn on the f7. So check. Start advancing those pawns. The only way I'm going to win this game is if I get a queen.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
If he had gone, said king D3,
Wait.
where would the block?
Wait, king d3?
No, sorry, the other way. Can't quite do the B3. Yeah, where do you go with the rook?
I check him again. And then if he moves up, well, if he moves here,
Yeah, okay.
yeah. All right, b5, this is the game. So I'm pushing my pawn, and he's just going to get that pawn, so that's not the end of the world. But I don't want him to get this pawn as well, or else he'll get 2 passers, the h and the g. So I play f5, so when he checks me, okay, it's not the end of the world. So now Mario does the right thing. He's like, I'm 5 moves away from getting a queen, let's do it. So now I got to be quick. So I'm going to try to stop him with my rook. All right, so rook here attacks the pawn. So king there. So now rook attacks. So now Mario's got 2 decisions. Well, he's got 3 decisions, I guess. All right, so he can protect with a pawn. He can get behind the passed pawn. Or he can do the dumb rook, where he gets in front of the pawn. So which one do you think Mario chooses?
I think he wants to go in front.
Yeah, he takes the dumb rook scenario. So the dumb rook is not very good, because in the end, and now, my rook can't move. That's thus the dumb rook, okay? And now you can never promote that pawn. You're hoping that I play a silly move like this. Well, whatever. Like this, and then he can deliver the check. And then when my king moves, I get a queen. But when you have a situation like that, just don't allow your king to be checked by the dumb rook, and you'll be living large, okay? All right, so of course Mario goes for the dumb rook, and so now I'm getting my guy going. Now Mario makes a big mistake. Plays d4, and now my bishop becomes a monster, okay? He's defending the queening square, attacking the pawn. And look, and now he's on the same diagonal as the h pawn. So life is good. So rook takes. I would love to trade rooks here. Instead, he attacks my bishop, and I just say a2. I'll just go for it. So rook goes. You know, I can get a queen now. There's no reason not to. And now I can go and win this pawn. He gives me a check, gives me another check, I don't care. Attacks this pawn. There's no way I can save it. I do not want to play a move like rook to e4, and that's just humiliating, huh? Right? Humiliating. So be careful. Don't be like, oh, you know, I've got 4 pawns in an endgame. Let's trade rooks, okay? You gotta smash his compensation here. So trading is fine because it's going to be really tough for him to stop the stuff, right? All right, so he thinks he's got a big pin going, but what's an easy way to get out of this? Check, yeah, excellent. And now you can check him again. And I thought about just playing c3 and being funny, but I'm like, no. Check, check. And, well, one more check just for fun. And then it's over, right? There's no way he can stop me. I got mate in about 8 here. Mate in 8, yep. That's great. And all right, so now we can see how the host, Jonathan Schrantz, does. He actually has the black pieces again. We all got the black pieces. All right, so obviously it's going to start out the Scandinavian in this position. So he decides not to check. He decides to go to A5. And now white can't resist a check. It's like, you're not going to check me, I'm going to check you. Who thinks that this is a good check for white? Do we have anybody? No, because he can just block with the C pawn. And that's actually where the queen loves to be on this diagonal back to get the C7. In a lot of scenarios, black's queen is going to get to C7 anyway. So you just gave black a free tempo. So all right, so he plays bishop back to C4, knight up, gets his knight out. Bishop pins the knight. White gets castled. E6. Bishop breaks the pin. So bishop moves. H3 is played. Magnus Carlsen, in a blitz game kind of similar to this, takes the knight, but all right, Jonathan decides I'm going to retreat. So queen to E1 is played. Who would much rather be on E1 here? The rook. The queen just never really belongs on E1. He gets his knight out, E3. All right, so Jonathan's going to go for it. All right, he's like, this king is pretty safe because there's a knight, bishop, pawn, knight, pawn, all protecting this king. Even though he's on the same file as the queen, it's really tough for him to break through here. So then brings his knight up. So Jonathan's like, well, I'll get castled anyway. And that way, all my guys don't have to just hang around all day to protect them. So yeah, if you saw when the knight moved after castle, there was a discovered attack, but Jonathan didn't mind because, look, you know, it's protected. So knight attacks the queen. Jonathan thought for a long time about going to F5, walking right into the pawn fork. If he plays G4, what move do we have? If the computer didn't already say. Yeah, excellent. And now this knight's hanging, and our knight's hanging. So that's much better. But he's like, all right, I'll just play queen back to C7. All right, so queen E3. Another innocent looking move. What is being attacked? Yeah, do you want that queen down there on A7 threatening check? No. So what move should you play? Nope. Nope. King over, right. It's very, as we'll see in this game, it's very problematic to be pushing your pawns in front of your king. So yeah, king b8, excellent. So then knight comes up, the rook gets over. All right, so now rook on the g file. So now he plays g4 to stop his opponent from playing g4, but this is much better. All right, so it's dangerous. So yeah, you can just h5 and just break it open, all right? So now he puts the queen on the same line. So pawn takes. What move? I mean, obviously white is losing in this position, but I mean, he's still okay. Well, not okay, but you know, it's not like critical here. He's not on his deathbed. What move do you think white should play in this position? Yeah, just you have to take it back. You just have to take it back. All right, but instead he gets fancy here, plays bishop takes, no good. I think he was hoping that Jonathan would take with the queen and eliminate his attacker, but no sale, right? And now queen to h2. I was watching the game live, and I saw the move instantly. Jonathan didn't see it. So what moves? So if you're playing this game, two moves should just shout at you, right? Pawn takes check, or g3, right? g3 is obviously the best move. But Jonathan's like, I'm going to play hope chess. I'm going to hope you don't see the big knight fork, which he really doesn't have to. So Bernard does the right thing. He's just like, get that knight out of here. And so queen takes. And now he's living for another day. So he's like, all right, no pawn takes. But guess what? g3 even has more bite now than it did previously, now that, you know, the rook's off the board. So Jonathan did okay, I guess. So pawn takes, queen to e3 check, king over, rook takes. So now it's looking pretty bad for white. His castle is destroyed. He moved too many pawns up and is in a lot of trouble. And now what's the easiest move in this position? One quick hint, the king and the queen are on the same file. Yep. Jonathan's just not that good. He's like, I don't want to trick queens. Really. So he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to attack your queen then. So now he's going to maneuver. King up, queen check, king. You think Jonathan sees this move? He didn't see it when it was the file. Rook g2. Yep. Now you see, now that it's the rank, he sees it. So knight protects the queen. Bishop takes pawn. Queen takes check. Queen takes. Rook f3. Now I think Jonathan decides it's time to be funny. f3. Because if rook takes, he's going to get another queen coming, and nobody can stop him. Well, okay, so he's like, okay, I'll protect. And now Jonathan's like, I'm a comedian over here. So queen takes check, knight takes, and then what move? Do you think he takes the knight?
No, he just pushes.
He just pushes, and nobody can stop the queen. So Bernard's like, I've had enough. So the last game there was a new guy playing Danny. And there's Jonathan himself, the winner of the last game. The best, yep. And so, so Danny has the black pieces. So obviously, what move do you think Danny's going to play? So we saw Queen E6 check played by David Letterman, Queen A5 played by the lecturer, and then we saw the awesome Queen to E5 check played by yours truly. And remember, Danny is a good player, as we may or may not see. So what move do you think he plays?
Same as yours.
Yeah, same as mine, obviously. Give him the check, right? Give him the check. All right, and he plays just like me. Even though his game started before mine, but he knew what I was gonna play. All right, so he attacks. So just retreat. All right, so G4. Who thinks that's a good move? Anybody? Nobody. Right. All right, so bishop retreats. So knight attacks the queen. Queen moves. Bishop checks. So we saw that in the previous game, right? You think that was a good move? No. Never play the bishop check if they can just block with the c pawn, right? All right, so now he just goes right back home. It's like, so he basically just like, you know what, I'm gonna give you a free move c6 and then another free move, right? So he just gave him 2 free moves. All right, so very, very devastating. But Danny does not put him to good use. He played the move f6, which is abysmal. And b3, and king f7. So this is called the Wandering King. Has nothing to do with the Scandinavian. Has nothing to do with chess. But we'll see if, so now he should play, well, check again, obviously. And he blocks it with e6. So now, yeah, g5. Just try to break open the Wandering King. Knight protects the pawn. Knight attacks the queen. So queen to d5. And I said Danny was a good player, huh? But if you, rating rise, okay? So, does anybody like that move? No. So just, if they're gonna give you a free queen, even if they're being funny, just play.
Hold on, isn't knight d4 loose?
Yes. So yes. So sometimes when you're playing and you know you have a low rating, but you're playing somebody tough, right, or with a tough rating. Sometimes that's why don't get intimidated. Sometimes they might either joke around or just play down to your level, you know. So obviously bishop should just take e4. But now that he knew, wow, I'm playing a guy that's not so good, maybe I can do some funny stuff. All right, well, let's see. And remember, Danny is not the comedian of the group, so let's see. Maybe he'll get penalized for being so bad here. So now, obviously, we got a big rook check here. So how should white deal with the rook check? He could just play queen up and trade the queen for the rook. Play like Danny. He could get the knight involved, or he could simply play his king to f1, right? Because it's going to be tough for him to castle anyway. But he gets his knight involved. All right, so bishop attacks the knight. Should probably defend this, huh? What's the one move white has here to save, to hold everything together?
Knight d4.
Well, if you play knight to d4, it's very, very tough to be a defender when you're like in the neutral zone, in the battleground, right? Because you can get attacked easily, right? Right? c5, right? So what's a way easier way to be like the protector, right? Like be like a sniper, be like way up there, just protecting everybody from back, right? It's not cool to retreat, right? And it's not cool to retreat. But you know, if you're up material and all you need to do is hold it together, there you go. All right, so, and then yeah, the computer thinks that's so good. But he played your move without the knight, just d4. So it's like, okay, free knight again. This time he can't resist it. All right, so now the bishop is attacking the rook, attacking the knight. It's all falling apart. So queen to d3, bishop takes, queen takes. Danny throws in the big bishop check, but can white block with c3 in this position?
No.
Well, he could if he wanted to, but he's like, not tonight, not tonight. So bishop to d2. Now Danny's smart here. If he plays bishop takes check now, right? White almost has to take back with the king, right? And he'll know. But he takes this first, king takes, and bishop takes, so it's not check. So he's not forced to take it here. He could like, oh, play my rook. So, but he's like, okay, I know my king can capture unprotected pieces. So he figured that out, so that was good. So Danny's like, it's mop-up time now. I'm taking your pawn. I'm actually not going to protect my pawn. He's playing a trick here. So what would play, hopefully the computer won't like shout it out right away. Yeah, knight e4 check. Yeah. Computer. All right, so now f3, stopping the check. Very interesting. So he's like, okay, I'll protect. So knight moves, rook takes the open file here, knight moves. Rook attacks the knight, but it's defended. So the knight attacks the rook. Rook just goes back. So you see how you guys got to get plans somehow, some way. Just get some plans here. Like a better plan would be like Mario with the f4, f5 maneuver that did nothing. This guy with the rook down here. Okay, rook back, just wasting moves. Like maybe you want to try like rook e3 here, even if it loses a pawn, and then double the rooks, right? And then try to get a checks and have fun, right? Not just moving your rook back and forth for nothing. And you lost the pawn anyway. And now look where he goes back. All right, so obviously, oh, Danny, it's time to just stop messing around sometimes. Rook attacks the pawn. Oh. He just can't resist giving this rook away. And check, he's in check, and he can't take it anymore. So that's it. That's the Scandinavian. Unless you're playing Garry Kasparov, it works, right? Just remember to give him a big check on e5, not e6, the losing move. All right, well, thank you very much for coming to another edition of Beginner Breakdown.